Welcome back to the Frizz and the Grease podcast with your hosts, Trudeau and D.
Welcome back to the show. It's your boy Trudeau. D, it's been a long week off, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Warranted, much needed. I know the holiday kind of threw us for a little bit of a loop being on a Tuesday, strange holiday, but everything is good in the hood, baby. How's everything with you?
Good. Yeah, we usually don't take days off for holidays, but it was weird. The Tuesday, 4th of July, we weren't going to come home from a barbecue drunken podcast. That wasn't going to happen.
For damn sure. I'm pretty sure we didn't get home until like 9:30. Like last week sucked as a parent for bedtime because the Monday leading up to the 4th, you're out because you got the day off, obviously. Kids are up listening to fireworks, watching fireworks and whatnot. And then Tuesday, the 4th, that's when all the shit is actually happening. So kids are still up, ruining bedtimes and whatnot. So yeah, it was a mess, but definitely warranted and fun.
It's good to see you, man. I feel like I've been shouting at the walls and at my cat hot sports take. So it's good to have a real person in front of us. And thank you guys for watching live. We see you out there. Much love to y'all. Give yourself a round of applause. Thanks for being here. We have a good show today. I know it's a very quiet part of the sports calendar, but we got a lot of basketball. We have other stuff. D's got thoughts and opinions. And if you want something else, man, we put out an episode last week on podcast. I thought it was really good. Right, D?
Yeah, I thought it was a good switch up. If you guys get a chance, again, listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music for the recap. But essentially, it was like the Frizz's top five. Weird to like say it that way, but like we grouped together, or I won't say we, the producer, the man, myth, the legend, Stephen Trudeau, put it together where basically we ranked the top five Frizz's fives that we had since we started this show. It's actually a really good listen. So if you guys ever want to just recap as to even when we're not working, we're still working. We'll still put up some content for you guys so you can tune in, obviously.
Yeah, basically it's D bitching about things for 50 minutes straight.
I mean, hey, I do my best. I feel like I haven't gone down that route as much, but it does happen. It's just part of the show, baby.
Nah, I appreciate you. I appreciate the energy you bring. So yeah, we'll have a good show today. I want to start off with something random. Did you see the text I sent you last Saturday? You didn't respond, so I assume you just were like, "What the hell?" You texted me at 12:30 at night for.
No, wait. You sent me a text in the morning. I didn't even pay attention to it.
Like middle of the night. So like, we're Massachusetts. We got some gambling. We got ability to gamble. I bet on a UFC fight. I know you've been watching UFC.
So I was up. I probably looked at it and then just didn't pay attention. But it was that knockout, right?
Did you know the story about that fight, Bo Nickel versus Val Woodson or Woodburn?
No, go ahead.
All right. So like the reason why I bet on it was I read something about this fight. Basically, this Nickel guy was like minus 1,400 to win. I'm like, that's insane. So I looked up the backstory. This dude's like the number one UFC prospect. This dude's fighting on the main card, right? The guy he's supposed to fight breaks his arm 2 weeks before the fight. They got to find some dude to fill in. They find my guy, Val Woodburn. Now listen, Val, my guy's undefeated, right? He has not lost a professional fight. However, all he's done is fight like in people's backyards in Orlando, Florida.
So he's like, what's the man? Kimbo Slice, right? That's how Kimbo was in it.
I guess so. No, I mean, it wasn't as, he was a little more advanced. He was fighting in some UFC, like not UFC, but, the lower tier UFC, double A UFC tournament. But this dude gets the call up, right? They're probably like, yo, man, like, I know you've never fought in a big stage before, but hey, how about you come fight the number one prospect on pay-per-view? Like, this is part of the pay-per-view event. The guy's probably like, this is my chance. I'm 7-0.
Yeah.
This dude does like lawn care for profession. Like he cuts grass every day and then he like trains afterwards, like a real Rocky story. He's probably feeling himself like I could be like Rocky, come take out this champ. My guy, I'm like, this guy's not going to win. There's no chance in hell. I'm throwing like $200 on Bo Nickel. I don't care if I only win $10. Like it's a lock. I feel so bad. This man goes to Vegas, gets his debut on pay-per-view. He probably thinks like he's the man. 20 seconds and gets knocked. He throws 2 punches, gets knocked out.
So I didn't watch that fight. I did see, what was it? What was the last weekend that just went? Oh, I can't remember the names. but it was like Velenovsky versus Rodriguez, and there was a female fight in that one. Oh, same one, same card, right? Did you see the Denise Gomez versus Yasmin? I'm not going to get her last name correct.
Absolutely not.
So we were watching the prelims on ESPN. We're oddly enough, but we were watching it on ESPN, me and the missus, and I was like, this is women fight. This is gonna be good. Literally 20 seconds, not even 20. I think it was a 5-second fight. I think it was they touched gloves and she popped her twice and knocked her out. And I like looked at Al. I was like, "Did you see that?" I'm like, no. I was like, "Oh, I mean, I barely saw it." And I was watching like this woman just trained for 6 months to get ready for this fight to get knocked out in 5.
That's insane.
That's disrespectful to the.
Even though I won money on the other dude, like I kind of feel bad. Imagine your whole life, your dream is to be a UFC fighter. And you finally get this opportunity to go to Las Vegas and fight in Las Vegas. Now you've only fought in Florida in the swamp. And this is like, hey man, this is my moment, you know? And your dream, like your entire dream is like this in 20 seconds.
Snapped. Just gone. Thanos, hey, out of there. Terrible. I felt bad. Because again, we'll talk about the dog days of summer, but like I just happened to be on ESPN. I was like, I'll watch this. And I saw that fight. I was like, God damn! Like if I paid for a ticket and that's what happened, I feel like Tyson back in the 90s.
To be fair, like this dude looks like an absolute beast, though. By the way, like you would think this dude, like I would think this guy would win a fight. Look at this dude.
I'm watching. Yeah. The worst part is the screenshot.
That's the guy who lost.
The screenshot that you sent me is of the ESPN card and his face just being red, just because he just got knocked the fuck out.
Oh man, and the dude who beat him is like the biggest. Like, come on, like, do you think this dude would win a fight? I know this is bad for a podcast.
Here we go. Yeah, for those that are not watching and listening,
you describe this man.
He's just what he's basically saying is Gordon Hayward knocked out LeBron James. Yeah,
that was pretty much the matchup, and Gordon Hayward 20 seconds in, bam. Give me that $10.
That's UFC. Great win though. Great win for you.
Oh man. Anything else since we've been out that you want to talk before we get into the show?
No, not really. Actually, one last thing, because I feel like this needs to be said. I said it a very long time ago that I feel as though, although the purge it scares the hell out of me, we should be given like, a punch card of 1 elbow per day. Right. And like you just
That's
can rate.
I think it's like once a month.
No, one a day, right? But like that also means you can also get elbowed if you do something stupid. The reason why I say that is yesterday it's 8 o'clock. It's 8:30 now, right? 8:30 on the East Coast. And all of a sudden I hear ding 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 ding. I'm like, there's no way the ice cream man is getting ready to drive by my house at 8:30. And it did. It drove right by the front door, and all I hear is do 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 do. Obviously, the little one runs to the window, and it's like it's 8:30, and the ice cream man is driving. Like, do that shit at 6 PM. Like, what are you doing at 8:30 besides pissing off all parents in this neighborhood that like just put their kids down, and then all of a sudden the ice cream man is like, "Hey, just one last stop before I go home." It's like, yeah. So like that would have been numero uno. I would have walked outside and be like, "Yo, man, pop tomorrow 6 o'clock," and then just like walked away. That shit pissed me off. I need to get that off my chest.
I mean, that's capitalism at its finest. Did you buy some ice cream?
No, I didn't. I would have threw a brick at his damn truck if I could.
That's what I'm missing, man, in my life. It's just fired up, angry D. I love it, man. Glad to be back. Glad to be back. Did you like the remix?
I was just about to say that. I don't know if you did it on purpose or not, but it was like, it's not like you were scratching the turntables. Good shit.
Yeah, I was definitely not trying to. It's been a minute, man. I'm rusty. It's been a minute. We haven't met in 2 weeks. Last time we talked was right before free agency kicked off, right? Mm-hmm. Since then, the dust has kind of settled at this point. There's really nothing outstanding except for the 2 disgruntled superstars that want to leave. But I want to just ask you, we don't talk about all the free agency stuff, right? But what are some of the things that surprised you? Because there were a couple of things that are like, oh, to me at least, I didn't see coming.
Yeah, one of the first things, just because we both said it, or at least I know I did. I came on, I was just like, I think Kyrie's out of Dallas. That, for some strange reason, even with him, well, I mean, I know you're saying that like he's just going to stay for the money, but I didn't think he was going to stay because of basically like he's he's a bridge burner. Like he goes somewhere, he ruins their franchise, he leaves, he dips. And like the writing was on the wall for it to happen when he's just like, no, I'm trying to get more bread to like raise the price for himself. And then he got a deal that like everybody else was like, yeah, I'm glad we didn't pay him that. So like at the end of the day, that still surprised me that he ended up in Dallas and he didn't actually get to change his location like he has been the past 5 years.
Yeah, that one for me is like it's just like a marriage that they're stuck with because Dallas gave up a bunch of shit to get him.
You
If
have
he
to keep him, yeah.
Yeah, if he walks, they can't really, like I told you, they're over the cap, so they can't match. Like if a $40 million player comes out, they can't re-sign a $40 million player to make it work unless it's a sign and trade.
Yep.
And then for him, it's like, yo, you burn so many bridges that you're not
Facts.
getting a big.
How many teams do you got left? Exactly.
Yeah, so like they were kind of stuck together. I saw that one come in. The number seems high, but I feel like they didn't want to like piss him off and him coming to camp being grumpy that he was only getting 30 million.
You get a disgruntled worker, right? And it's like I know that Dallas tried to do a few more moves. They got Seth Curry. They got I think Grant Robinson. I mean,
Grant Williams.
Grant Williams. That's
that pickup though. That was nice for them.
He's a spot filler, but like he's not a needle mover where like Dallas now becomes like a top 4 contending team. Like they made moves, but they didn't do anything to be better. They just spent money.
Like when you think about Dallas last year, right? What were the things that really afflicted them? What did they need to improve on?
Defense. 100% defense. It wasn't shooting, and that's what Grant Williams is.
Oh, defense, shooting's always a plus when you have Kyrie and Luka. And toughness. For those listening on podcast, D just threw himself back in the chair like
we all saw the poke the bear moment from Grant Williams in the playoffs against Jimmy Butler. So miss me with he's tough. Like he tried to get big and bad and face to face and nose to nose, and then Butler was like, "All right, word." And then we didn't hear a damn thing from Grant Williams the rest of the series. So come on, man. I get what you're saying. Boston tough. Like there's a little bit of a tenacity that comes with any of the plays for Boston. Player. Yeah, but I don't think that when you think toughness, I'm thinking Marcus Smart. That maybe 4th, 5th down the line, I was like, oh yeah, maybe Grant Williams. But like I wouldn't have thought that's your enforced
now.
Yeah. What's that?
He's probably the toughest dude in that Mavericks team now.
I mean, I guess so. That's just like addition by subtraction. But yeah.
No, the defense, though, he's a good defender, man. Like, I know people forget 2 years ago when he was put on Giannis every possession in that Bucks Celtics series when the Celtics went to the finals. He was awesome in that series. I think he's like, what he reminds me of? They traded away Dorian Finney-Smith, like Kyrie. He's like Dorian Finney-Smith light. Like, he's perfect for him, and he's not getting paid a ton. I know the contract sounds big now, but the TV money is going to make the salary floor go up. I think he got like 4 for 52, like that 11 million.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yep.
So I feel like that was good. I feel like Dallas did some nice things, all things considered, what they could have done.
Yeah, like I said, it's a surprise that they kept. At least it was a surprise for me that they had to keep Kyrie. The other moves are like, do you go from the 10th seed to maybe the 8th? You know what I'm saying? Like we get a full year out of Kyrie and Luka. We'll see what happens, but. Again, I didn't say the surprise was a good surprise. It was just like, there's another one that I got, but I'll let you go for yours second.
Yeah, I was going to say this one was not only surprising because of the numbers associated with this deal, but what happened immediately after. And this person's going to segue into a different conversation, I'm sure. Congratulations, Jeremy Grant, bro. You get that bag.
I'm saying
5 for 160.
I mean, why not, right? That's just people getting paid. There was some money that was thrown out, and I think because of what you had said with the way that the new collective bargain agreement is set up, where people aren't able to trade specific salaries to each other, I think that affected, obviously, the way that people got signed this season.
I would say, too, with Jeremy Grant, like, I get what they were thinking at first. Like, this is pre-Dame asking for a trade, right? They're like, yo, we got to keep Dame happy. We have to make sure that we keep our players and add on, right? So they obviously overpaid Jeremy Grant. I'm guessing if they could go back, they would undo that immediately. That's a big number. I don't know what the math is on that.
5 for 160.
I don't know what that equates to per year, but that's a really bad contract for Jeremy Grant, who's probably like a top 50 player, maybe. I don't.
I was gonna say at his position, 15. He's not like the best. He's not the best 4 out there.
Oh no way. And like NBA wise, like is he a top 50 player?
No,
He's like
absolutely not.
between 60 and 50 maybe.
Mhm.
And he's getting like again,
32 a year.
32 a year. That's a
32 is
contract.
crazy.
That's the thing is too, like even if they want to like retool the roster and dump salaries, which is obviously what they're going to do now after Dame asked out, dude, no one wants to take on that contract. That's going to be a tough contract to move. So they're for a team that wants to rebuild, they're going to be handcuffed by that contract for so many years. It's tough, man. Did you want to talk on the Dame thing, considering like that was like immediately after that bad deal?
Yeah, I mean, you already know my thoughts on it. I think he's done his career the right way for wanting to leave. He gave the team 11 seasons where he just kept saying, "No, I'm here at Portland. I'm here with Portland. I'm here with Portland. I'm a Blazer. I brought them to the Western Conference Finals once. Like I'm doing any and everything I can to bring this team to to the finals and to a championship." And he's been surrounded by absolutely nothing. So at the end of the day, when he's like, "All right, like, are you going to get somebody that's going to help me now, or are you going to draft somebody that's going to potentially be the future?" If that's the case, as soon as you're going to draft him, I want out, man. Like, let me go do what I want to do. I don't want to be the mentor for this guy after I've had 11 seasons of this, and you guys are trying to go into rebuild mode. Like that's him working his ass off for a company, and then they're like, "No, we're not going to give you a raise. We're just sit here and we'll just do with growing our business."
I'm so out on Dame Lillard right now. Like
That's
he
fine.
legit is the worst. Like the worst. Like worse than James Harden. He's the worst.
Because the way he handled it. I mean, go ahead.
I don't
Let
mind
everybody know. Let everybody know because I know that probably
man.
pissed you off.
I don't mind that he wants to leave. Like that's cool. Like I understand him not wanting to be there. Like do that, Dame. Go. If you want to win, dude, go for it. But to be like, I only want to play for Miami and have his agent calling people up, teams up, being like, hey, if you trade for him, he ain't playing. Like, bro, like I understand you want to get out, but you still have a contract with the Portland Trailblazers, and you're putting the Trailblazers in a situation where like you don't have a no trade clause. You can't just be like, I don't want to go play for places.
Oh, but Bradley Beal does? Come on, man. Like it ain't about the clause, it's about the player.
That's fine, but like no, I can't remember a single player in the past that has been so brazen about demanding a single team. Even if you go back to James Harden, he just wanted to leave Philly. He wasn't like, yo, I need to go to the Nets. If you think about other players in the past, they weren't like, I need to go to X, Y, and Z. They were like, hey, I'm open. I'll go to like one of a couple teams, like figure it out.
But like also not as okay.
To be so brazen about like, yo, I'm loyal. I'm loyalty, Mr. Loyalty, Mr. Family. And then be like, oh no, only Miami or bust. Like that's some bullshit, Dame. And for him, especially he was the one calling people out for joining super teams. Okay, Dame, get off your high horse. Done with this dude, man.
You know the reason why I don't agree with that testament is because the people that you're talking about that KD that got traded, Kyrie that got traded, James Harden that got traded, all of those players that you're talking about all went somewhere where assets were drawn away from them. Meaning like the team that got them dumped so much away, trash away, future draft picks. Where else is he supposed to go right now that you think it would be fit for him? Nowhere. He wants to go. Yes, he wants to go to Miami, where people can actually trade for him. The Heat can trade for him. If you're saying, well, he can get traded to the Thunder, he can get traded. The Celtics
could trade for him.
No, the Celtics don't have assets. The 76ers don't have assets unless they trade James Harden.
The Nets could trade for him. There are so many teams with assets that could have traded for him. So many teams that could offer more, but he's put it in the water that he will only play for Miami.
No.
He said
I know that part. I know he said that, and I feel as though, hey, work with the man that has worked with you for 11 years to get this deal done. And if you're like, no, I don't want any of those pieces over there in Miami, but I'll trade you for 5 first-round picks and scraps for those players out in Oklahoma City. Like, what does that do?
What is this? What does the contract mean? It's like, does it matter anymore at this point?
Since when have contracts mattered in this player empowerment movement? Like, it's been like this for the past 10 years. Like ever since the decision, it's just been like this.
This is like the most mutated, out of control version of it.
I mean, that's the NBA right now. We got fully guaranteed contracts no matter what happens. Someone could sit out for mental illness. I hope he's actually okay, even though we know it was a back issue. But somebody could sit out for mental illness / back issues for 82 straight games and still get paid. That's just player empowerment. That's what happens when you get guaranteed contracts, and the reason why the NFL will not allow it.
Yeah, the NFL is a whole another can of worms. The most dangerous sport. Dudes are asking players to take pay cuts, or they always cut their ass. Ridiculous.
Crazy.
I don't know, man. Dame Lillard, ultimate hypocrite, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Calling people out. Is there anything else like surprising moves that you want to just touch on real before?
I mean, I know that I said that I was going to touch on LA. I think I'll just be quick with LA. I think LA won free agency.
You don't.
No. Sure. I mean, we'll go over that. I have one that I want to go over. That's the main reason why. But essentially, I know you guys know that I'm a Lakers fan, and this isn't even just being a purple and yellow teamer. Like, this is actually free agency for them to bring back Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura. Like, that's huge. D'Angelo Russell. I know he kind of fizzled out in the playoffs. Like, we'll find a way to get him on the court, obviously. But the big additions, Jackson Hayes, Cam Reddish, Gabe Vincent. And there's just obviously Taurean Prince just as like a follow-up. Those are all key players that they needed, that they could use in this season coming up to spill LeBron James, to spill Anthony Davis. Like, you have young talent, young, hungry players playmaking. I'm not even talking about the kid that they drafted, but like, they have playmakers now and they have defenders. I'm telling you, man, like, I think this is, I'm not going to say they're the champs next year. Like, Denver's still Denver, but like, this is what they needed in order to counter against that Western Conference that is younger and obviously faster.
I'll give you Jackson Hayes. I like that signing for like very minimum. I think it was a minimum, right? Wasn't much.
Very low. Yeah, nothing crazy.
Don't fool yourself on the Cam Reddish thing, man. That's the Mo Bamba situation all over again.
But you said that I said that this was going to be. I know that Bamba flopped. But I said Rui was going to be a revitalized career, and because he's playing behind LeBron, now Cam is also playing behind LeBron. Like, I'm telling you, it's going to make it better for him.
He's been on like 17 teams in 2 years. I'm not excited about Cam Reddish. I think they did a great job on Austin Reeves. They gave him as much as they could give him, given the situation. But the fact that no one else was able to poach him, that's a good contract for Lakers.
4 for 53.
Rui's interesting. I don't know what his numbers were, but
3 for 51.
That could bite them in the ass, but it could be okay. Just
LeBron's going to fall off the books in 2 years.
If you get playoff Rui, then you're fine. But he was pretty meh, like the regular season after they got him. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it could go either way. Who was the other addition that they made? Oh, Gabe Vincent.
Gabe, yep. Huge for the point guard position. They lost Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook.
I'm just gonna say we'll see on Gabe Vincent, because he, like, this playoff version of Gabe Vincent we saw was amazing. That's not like his career, and he's a smaller guard, so like he can get picked on defensively. But I think, like, for all that I'm trying to tone you down, Lakers, I think they did a great job, all things considered.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not expecting championship because of these moves, but like, if we put a grade on everything when it comes to free agency, I think they got one of the best. Yeah, I think they got one of the best grades out of all of their teams.
I don't know what my team was doing. You just see our only move. Our only move is Joe Ingles.
No, I mean, his boy can shoot. We'll give him that. He can shoot. He can play some defense. You got Mo Wagner back. That's not a bad thing. That's just was that a restricted free agent though? I think that was a matched contract. But yeah, nothing with Orlando.
No.
I wanted to hit this one because I'm still very confused.
I say it?
Go ahead.
Is it Dylan Brooks?
It's the Houston Rockets. It's not just Dylan Brooks. It's the hodgepodge of talent, quote unquote, that Houston put together. Houston doesn't know if they're rebuilding or if they're title contending. And they're like stuck in the middle of being both. Like they're not stuck between rebuilding and contending. They're stuck between, here's rebuilding. Hey, do we want to rebuild or do we not want to rebuild? And hey, do we want to contend or not contend? They're stuck between both of them.
Oh, sorry. Hold 1 second.
Technical difficulties. We've already had one of these types of episodes. Thankfully, your internet hasn't been a problem in a very long time.
I got all excited and ripped out my headphones. I was excited about the Houston Rockets. No, with them, you can't just rebuild forever, right? Once you have enough young talent, you think you have enough to start with, you should start the rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
They got a couple of young guys you really like, right? I like Şengün. They drafted Jalen Green second overall 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. They just drafted Amen Thompson, who looks like he's
decent.
Player. Yeah.
Besides that, was that him or the other Thompson that twisted their ankle?
It was him.
Okay.
He'll be fine with the season start. He looked though. And they have a couple of the other young guys they really like. So I think they have the foundation they want. And if you think about the Houston Rockets, the biggest criticism of them in the past couple of years is just like a lack of maturity. And they're bringing in Fred VanVleet, who has won a championship. The Dylan Brooks thing, say what you want, but he is a guy who at least busts his ass. He's a good defender too. I know you're laughing and shaking your head. I think some of these deals, like the Fred VanVleet's only 2 years guaranteed, right? So they had to spend the money. They had to hit the salary floor. They wanted to bring in some older guys to like teach the younger ones the right way, quote unquote. I think some of it's a head scratcher, but I get what they're trying to do.
I mean,
do you want them to just have like 22-year-olds for the rest like 10 years, the next 10 years? I don't understand.
But you still have to. Who's the guy they're rebuilding around? It's not Jabari Smith. It's not Jalen Green.
Jabari Smith was awesome. I
know he is good. Trust me.
4 cornerstone young guys: Jabari Smith, Jalen Green, Şengün, and Thompson. Like that's 4 really good young players you can build around.
But it's such a mixed bag of really good young talent. Who's the guy on the team is what I'm asking.
Right now, for the next 2 years, it's going to be Fred VanVleet. He's going to be the leader.
And that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. Like he's got the max contract, but he's not a max player. And like if you're gonna say like you're gonna have Jabari Smith Jr. and Amen Thompson as like the second coming of their best players, like what's that? We already saw the maturity issues that they had with Jalen Green. Like
that's why you bring in Fred VanVleet.
I understand that, but like we've already seen where someone thought they were the guy. And then someone surpassed them, and it pissed them off. Like now we're just adding more people to that equation with adding Amen Thompson.
They're looking at this team saying, "Our young guys will be ready in 3 years, right?" Fred VanVleet has 2 years guaranteed. When our young guys are ready, we push out these old guys, and we elevate to having our young guys take the wheel. Like I think it's a smart move to not just be perpetually in the basement and to teach the young kids how to win. And that's kind of what they're doing. Are they going to win 50 games? Absolutely not. Are they going to win 20 games? Probably not. They'll probably be like flirting with the play-in, fighting for the 12, 11. I'm sorry.
So you got them at like a 40-win team?
Probably 30, not 38 to 42, somewhere between there.
Play-in last season was 42.
Yeah.
So if you're saying they're going to win 20 games, the difference of 20 games based off of this. All right. I mean, I'm not going to hold you to it, but that's a lot of win. A 20-game jump is huge in one season.
I forgot to mention this off the jump. Our anniversary is August 8th.
I already know that. I knew that. Yeah, write it down.
We will be doing this next year, basketball season. Book that take. The Houston Rockets will be within 3 games of being 500 or better.
I mean, that's a hill you got to die on alone, brother. I'm not walking up there with you. I just don't see a plus 20 win margin with the moves that they made. Like that, maybe 10, but like you're saying that they're gonna go from 20 wins to 38 to 40 with these moves. I don't know, man. In the West, they're still gonna be the doormat. Like this is including Utah that fell off, Dallas that fell off, the Pelicans that will be coming back, and then the OKC Thunder. You're expecting them to like be playing with them. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I hate my take now.
Hey man, that's your hill. You die on it, brother. But again,
man,
you said it, not me.
Yeah, I mean, the Houston thing's perplexing. You know what else I liked free agency, by the way? Just a really weird last little addition to that. I forgot what trade it was. I think it was the Dylan Brooks trade because it was a sign-in trade. Low-key awesome pickup for the Clippers of getting KJ Martin from the Rockets. He's a good player.
Yeah, not a bad one. Not a bad one.
And they need some addition, like the role players that can contribute. Anything else before we jump off to the summer sport?
Summer sport or
summer league?
Okay, yeah, no free agency. That's fine.
All right. I don't know where we're going to go with the summer league stuff. I think it's just more like talking on some of the rookies or anyone interesting that you've seen, whatever, anything Summer League related.
Yeah.
Do you got anything to start us off with?
I guess the easiest is just to start off because he's being shut down for the rest of the summer league. I would like to watch him a little bit more, just to see how comfortable he would get. But Wembenyama, it's gonna be really hard to get used to that. Victor Wembenyama, but I think he did exactly what is expected for somebody that has been getting all of this hype over the past year and a half. Like once we knew that he was going to be the number one pick. Game one, he looked like absolute dog shit. 2 for 8, like 8 points, got like 9 rebounds or something like that. But like his decision making was terrible. They were showing like clips of him like dribbling the ball, but because he was dribbling so low, it was against the Hornets. Because he was dribbling so low, he got ripped a couple of times. Like this isn't going to translate, and it's like no, let's just wait. And then game 2, he absolutely goes off. So it's like I was expecting that. I just wish that we were able to see a little bit more out of him because we're not going to be able to watch him play until October.
I think the tough thing with Victor is that he's so different from any other basketball player we're used to. And that's not just from like the fan perspective, but if you're playing basketball with a guy like that, like imagine Summer League's pretty much pickup at this point because these dudes have not played with each other for more than, I don't know, a week max at this point. And if you're playing pickup with this, you show up to the YMCA or whatever, there's a big, tall motherfucker. You expect him to play a certain way, and Victor is not that at all. So the first game to me was just like he was playing poorly because they didn't know how to play with him, right? Like the guys around him didn't know what to expect. There was just a lot of confusion in offense. People were running all over the place.
Well, he said it himself too.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see is he's going to be much better in the regular season with time to figure out how to use him properly with teammates that are higher basketball IQ. It's summer league. A lot of these guys won't make the NBA roster. I thought, like you said, it was some of the stuff was interesting. I was surprised how well he was at passing. Like his passing vision and his passing accuracy is outstanding. I didn't know he had it in him. His jump shot game was a little overrated coming into this. They made it seem like he was a knockdown 3-point shooter. Yeah, that ain't his game. He obviously isn't going to be big physical banging in the paint. He's going to be a lot of face-up stuff probably, right? But I'm excited. I think he's still probably going to be like the rookie year type of guy. I just, people are hyping him up as like he could be an all-star year one. I don't think that's feasible. It's going to be fun to see though. He's so different than anything I've ever seen before. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, if there was a way to place any type of bet on him being an all-star, I'm taking that bet 100% of the time.
You're taking him as an all-star?
Yes.
Just because of the fan votes and shit?
Yes, exactly. It's going to come down to exactly like, not to say what happened with Yao Ming, but the man has an entire country behind him. And we saw Yao Ming make the all-star game as a rookie because all of China was voting for him. So like, I'm not saying like that's a bad thing. I think he's going to be very talented in the NBA. And I think we're going to see a very Jokic-esque type passing out of him. Hear me out when I say this. I'm not saying he's a playmaker like Jokic, but because Jokic is so different, like Wembanyama is different offensively, people play him differently, which is going to give him open lanes, right? Like he's 7'4", 7'5", with a 9'5" wingspan. Like if you're kind of open, he'll get you the ball because by the time it gets to you, all he's doing is handing the ball off to you. Like that's his wingspan is ridiculous. But like what I'm saying is I think he's got decent vision, which because his game is so unique, it's going to get people open because of it.
Yeah. I think they have to design an offense specifically for him. And it's
ain't going to be designed about anybody around anyone else.
I know, but it's going to have to be very unique to him. And I think that's why he looks so shitty in Summer League because they're essentially playing pickup hoops. There's very little in the playbook right now.
Yeah, well, he said it. He literally said it, which again is as mature as an adult that he's been since the whole draft process has like started. Like he flat out said in an interview, "Yeah, I have no idea what the hell's going on out there." And like, there's nothing wrong with the honesty. He's a 19-year-old kid. At the end of the day, we forget about stuff like that. You don't just become like a 5-time NBA champion veteran overnight and like have the maturity to be able to answer questions like you're not a 19-year-old kid. Like he's still a child, right? So I got no problem with the game being faster than he probably expected game one, or like you were saying, like there's just a lot of people out there that he has no idea how they're actually going to play. game 2 is what I was like really hyped about because like, all right, we get to actually see him. He's a little bit more comfortable and whatnot. And just hearing the news that he's not going to be playing again is like, oh, that's tough because we'll just have this anticipation for the next 4 months.
Yeah, I also can't wait for him to like get into the regular season where it's not going to be because there's just so much hype around him right now because there's nothing else going on in the sports world. It's almost obnoxious. I like Victor. Like I'm a big Wembanyama fan, but even I'm just like, all right, enough with this. Like this is why people hate LeBron. They don't realize it just because like there's so much LeBron stuff. They're just like, oh, enough with LeBron, and it's kind of feeling that way right now with Victor. I just can't wait for the regular season where there's a lot of shit going on in basketball and he can kind of just ball out and just do his thing. And San Antonio will be very, very quiet. And it's a good spot for him to develop too. Not in the limelight, kind of under. And shout out Popovich getting a 5-year extension.
The bag. He went out on social media. It's like, what's your motivation to keep playing? The paycheck. Like it's pretty simple. It's like just keep paying me. Like, why would I stop playing? Like, why would I stop coaching if you're just gonna continue paying me? Like, I have residual income and what's generational wealth. Like, I'm making it so my grandbabies will never have to work again. So just keep paying me and I'll keep coaching. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Hall of Famer, champion, Olympic gold medalist, all the above. Like one of the best coaches of all time.
Not a hot take. If Wemby doesn't end up in San Antonio, he is not signing that contract.
Oh, no. He would have been like, I'm good. But he would have got paid somewhere else. He definitely would have checked the deuces, but he would have been paid somewhere else, obviously.
Were there any other summer league things that you enjoyed, like any players? Because I have one that I'm not like it's summer league, so I don't think we should go too harsh on anyone because especially these kids coming out of college, they're not that old.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we talked about it last time we met. There's some Charlotte fans booing and being physically upset when they drafted Brandon Miller.
Yeah.
They cannot be feeling too good still now. It's been a rough summer league for him. You know, he's still figuring it out. But it definitely hurts when he is the only one in the top 4 that kind of looked real rocky this entire summer league.
So I said it was going to be tough for him to get acclimated with Charlotte just because of draft night. Like, I'm not saying that like it should affect him, but just imagine, again, you've worked your ass off for your dream your entire life. And then the night that you get drafted, it's supposed to be the happiest feeling of your life. Obviously, he doesn't have, I don't know if he's got kids, so I don't know about that part, but he's not married, right? Like there's the things that are the happiest days of your life. And getting drafted was probably his. And to be booed on that night, like that, you cannot tell me that does not affect your mental like capacity. Like it does, right? We saw when the NFL booed Donovan McNabb on draft night because they wanted, I think, Ricky Williams or some shit like that. Like that shit affects you. So like he's gonna have to climb up this hill, get out of it himself, and like start to actually perform because it's not like Charlotte's a basketball town, right? Like they're not like the media like New York or LA. But like
they're probably a basketball town, but college basketball.
Right. It's not a professional state, right? Panthers, the Hornets, I think the Hurricane did good. I know we shout out to hockey, shout out to the NHL, baby. But I mean it's not like they're a professional sports state. So like he's just gotta withstand everything for now. Get to the regular season and just try to perform. You don't have to win Rookie of the Year, but just like prove that, look, I was worth the pick, obviously.
The only thing that's slightly concerning with Brandon Miller so far is that I've watched a couple games. Nothing has felt particularly special about his play so far. Like, yeah, I think he had one game where he put up like 20-something points, but it was all just kind of uncontested jumpers, like 3-point shots. I haven't seen any like flashes of like, oh, that's why he was taking number 2 yet. So again, it's only a small sample size, but we'll see. You know, the odds are someone in this top 4 is going to be a bust.
Yeah, I mean, just based off of history, we've said it, you've said it. That's the number 2 pick. There's just something wrong with it the past couple of seasons.
Shout out Chet, you betcha.
That was going to be my biggest point. Big shouts to Chet, you betcha, man. I feel like he's just proven that like he put on a little muscle. Granted, I don't think there was a big difference between the before and after pictures, but he put on more muscle. And I think when I say if there's going to be a dark horse for Rookie of the Year, just because it's the Ben Simmons effect, I think he has the ability to win that because I think he's going to be played more. His usage rate is going to be higher than it will be for Victor.
I think you need to understand the difference between usage rate and minutes played. You know there's a difference, right?
Sure. I think you're right. Yes. So he'll be playing more minutes. but he won't be a part of the offense more than Victor.
I would say that he'll probably play more minutes this season than Victor Wembanyama. But I think his usage rate is going to be very low in comparison. Like
Shea.
Yeah, Shea, Giddey, Dort, Jay Williams. They got a really, really good team in OKC. That's a team that could be a sneaky seed this year in the West.
Probably not, because they're going to have to worry about the Rockets winning 40 games.
You got me. You got it. I lost my train of thought, but oh yeah. So back to the Thunder thing. I don't think he's not going to get as many touches offensively as maybe Wembanyama. Like Wemby's going to be the focal point of that offense. I like him as a dark horse though, just because his defensive ability. I also think a guy like Scoot Henderson, another guy who could be a dark horse for Rookie of the Year, because we already know that Dame's probably played his last minute of basketball in Portland, regardless of when he gets traded or where. And Scoots looked pretty good, man. I think he hurt his shoulder in his first game, but before he hurt his shoulder in the third quarter, he was cooking, man. That dude's super freaky athletic. He can get to his spot, finish around the rim really well. He's got a super high work ethic drive on the court, so he's just going for. He almost reminds me of Westbrook.
That's exactly where I was gonna go.
But unlike Westbrook, his jumper looks pretty. It's not hit right now, but mechanically his jumper looks nice.
There's no hitch at the top like Westbrook's.
Oh, yeah.
But what he does also have as an advantage over the Thompson twins, it's kind of split between Wembanyama and whatnot, but he's got G League experience. I don't think that should be slept on anymore when it comes to how impactful that is for the growth and maturity of a player, because they're playing essentially NBA talent, literally on a daily basis. The Thompson kids, they're going to college. They're they still gotta study.
They didn't go to college,
what I'm saying? They played college. They played in the G League too, right?
No, they played in.
Which one was the Alabama team? Was that Williams?
No, Brandon Miller played in Alabama. The Thompson twins played for what the hell's the name? It's some made up basketball league. I forget the goddamn.
It's not the G League.
No, it's not. It's gonna bother me. I'll come back to it. Yeah, I mean, I think if you think about who's going to be the most dominant Rookie of the Year type candidate, if I was taking the field or Victor Wembanyama, I think it'd be a toss up. I still believe in Victor, but I think one of those guys in the field could have a fantastic year. And Hip Hop in the chat was just saying Scoot will be the guy I remember who sent Dame away. I don't blame based on how well Scoot's played in these first couple games and how special he was thought of before the draft. I don't blame the Blazers for doing what they did. Do you?
No, they got to take him. I feel as though we talked about it. Well, you said it was going to be a trade effect, but we said if Scoot drops the 3, you have to take him. He's just the best talent, athletically gifted wise. He's the best prospect in the draft. Granted, I think Wembanyama has the better talent, has a higher ceiling and whatnot. But I think
I think pure athlete.
Yeah, pure athlete. That's the phrase I'm looking for, and he encompasses all of that. So I think Portland got a steal. If they ship out Dame and they get something in return as a mid-level, not even a mid-level, but a fringe all-star to help that team. That's not a bad return. Obviously, you got the guy to build the future around, and then you got the guy that hopefully will pull him with him, right? The second-tier all-star type player, all-star reserve, something like that.
I really like Amen Thompson too.
Like a Jaylen Brown.
Yeah. Like Jaylen Brown. I don't know where you're going with the Jaylen Brown. I want to talk about Amen Thompson. That's
I don't want the Celtics to trade for Dame, but that's what I keep talking about.
I know they're interested. At least the Tatum wants Dame, but I don't think Dame wants Tatum. I made it very clear, Miami or bust. I like Thompson. Kind of reminds me of Amen Thompson. Reminds me of a LaMelo Ball type, tall point guard. Guy that's totally not on the radar, just for my Celtics fans out there. I like that Walsh kid.
Yeah. It looks like Charlie Villanueva, but yes.
Yes. Alopecia. Yes. Not funny.
I didn't say that. I just say it looks like Charlie Villanueva.
The no eyebrows.
Yes.
He's been nice though in the summer league games. I think they got him in the second round. Really good lanky defender. I think he's going to be playing 12, 15 minutes a game for the Celtics this year.
Very strange mechanics to his jump shot, and I know hustle goes a very long way. whenever I see, and I know it's like, well, it's just a jump shot, but like whenever I see someone that like has a weird looking jumper in summer league, it's like defense in the NBA is different, right? Like the closeout capability for teams is,
that's
is a lot different. And I know like a Kevin Martin was able to survive off of it, but like Kevin Martin was a point guard. It's different than like wings that like they got to catch and be able to pull a shot up quick. But like he starts from his hip and like kind of throws it. And it's like, I know I'm not saying that's ineffective because he's done it his entire career, but I think it's different in the NBA. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Maybe if they just stick him in a corner and just kind of draw defenders towards him, at the very least to respect it, it's worth it. But I like him. I think it's a good pick for the Celtics. Are you ready to get into some fun shit?
Yeah, let's get into some fun shit.
This is an idea that D just threw at me 5 minutes before the show, but I like it a lot.
Let's go.
Do you want to explain the premise?
You want me to, or you want to do it?
Go for it. I need a break anyways.
Right, got you. So essentially, we're going to replace the Frizzes 5. We'll give you guys another break, right? We got a big one scheduled for you guys next week. The draft is essentially, if we had the ability to draft a team today, who would be the cornerstones per position? Now, essentially, we're going to do it almost like a Frizz 5 style, but this time we're going to do it based off of I'll pick my player, Trudeau will pick his player, I'll pick mine. At the end, we'll put together point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, bench, and then put them online and see if you guys want to vote on who's going to the lineup.
I did not take that approach. I did positionless. So I was thinking like just
sure.
If you were drafting like 5 players that you wanted to build a cornerstone, like be your franchise guy, any players, like who would be those guys in order? Is that okay if I don't go positionless and we just go positionless on this thing?
Whatever. Yeah, I'm going to go by position, but like there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. I'm interested to see. So it's going to be reverse order. Usually we go like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on these lists. So we're going to go with like your number 1 and then my number 1. So like
sure.
I'll give you the drum roll. You get to kick off the NBA Dynasty draft. So this is the guy that in the entire NBA, if you were starting a franchise tomorrow, you would want on your team.
I hate having to admit this.
Oh, and before you tell me the pick, just let me know that the pick is in.
Oh, go ahead. Send a pick. I hate having to choose this selection, but the first pick in the 2023 Draft Dynasty from the Frizz and the Grizz podcast, Frizz is selecting Jason Tatum. I'm
utterly surprised that you took Jason Tatum first. Really? Of all the NBA?
Yeah.
Can you?
So I'll elaborate on it. Yeah. So for me, it's you didn't even give me a cheer, a riot, anything like that after. Kind of upset.
I mean, let's just a little behind the scenes.
Whatever.
I have a soundboard, right? And I can flip through the sounds by clicking a button. Literally on the far right is the draft sound, and the very far left is the yay sound. So I do not have the ability to click fast enough.
Gotcha. Fair enough. But yeah, so the reason behind him going with Jason Tatum, I mean, we all know his offensive gift and like his abilities that he has. He's starting to grow into be an actual playmaker, and we know he's a really good two-way defender. I think his age plays a huge factor into being 25 years old, having the playoff experience he does, NBA Finals experience. You need a point guard to be built around him, but this is a guy that could drop 30, 40, 50 a night. And that's in the NBA world now, that's something that you want. 50 points off of 40 to 50% shooting and 35% from 3. That's LeBron-esque, right? So like I'll definitely take that.
I got my clicking finger on. I'm surprised, man. I didn't even have him in my top 5.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Is it though? I mean, it
depends on how you're putting your list. I did mine based off of age.
I did too. I mean, he's 25. All right. I mean, that's kind of entering your prime. He arguably has the best teammates out of any superstar on my list to co-star with him, and he hasn't won a championship. Like, I'm starting to look at Jason Tatum like, is he just empty calories?
I highly doubt anybody that you're picking has won a championship, so that can't be a qualifier.
Well, let's go number 1 for Steve. You don't want the 2-time MVP reigning NBA champion Nikola Jokic as your cornerstone player. He's 28 years old. He plays an old man style, a game that will keep him in the league for 10 more years. I am totally happy taking Nikola Jokic number 1.
So if you go that route, there's nothing wrong with that. I had a strict 26 and under because like there's Giannis that's available, there's Joel Embiid that's available. I'm not going that route. If I'm taking a cornerstone, I'm thinking of like youth, somebody that I'm gonna have for
4
10
years of
years.
difference, though. 4 years. No, actually, 3 years of difference between Tatum and Jokic.
Yeah, but that means he also
Tatum
gets to his
better.
he also gets to his limit much faster, which is 3 years faster. But yeah, again, it's your selection. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If I had my list based off of a little bit older players, yes, I would have had him up there. Just like I would have thought it. Like I looked at Giannis, was like, I mean, yeah, that's the Ferrari. But no, age wise, like I'm gonna look a little bit younger for people I build around.
I mean, 28 ain't that old, my man. You're making me feel like an old man.
Hey man, I'm pushing the 36, so I'm gonna move on to selection number 2. With this one, I'll let you play the sounder. With the second pick, because I'm gonna go playmaking style, I think it's pretty easy. I'm going with Luka Doncic.
Yeah, he was my next pick.
Yeah, I mean Luka is pretty self-explanatory. 6'7" point guard that is a triple double averager every night. Essentially, we know his defense is not as bad as people think it is. He actually does get a decent amount of steals, and he for those smaller point guards, he does his best to obviously play up against. But like, you're not going to put him on like the best point guard out there. But their best defender has to try to cover him. And if you have that 1-2 combo of Luka and Tatum, there's not a lot of teams that have a lot of lockdowns to be able to slow down something like that. So building around that team, I think, would be great.
The one thing that kind of turned me off to Luka, and I put Jokic ahead of Luka for this reason. I kind of question Luka's commitment to winning. I don't know if that's
Really?
fair, but the dude comes into the season every year with the bear belly. I don't think he takes it seriously in the offseason. You have guys like Giannis that are trying to get to peak physical condition. Even Tatum, year after year, he comes in the season ready to go in condition. Luka's just like, yeah, I'll get ready when I get ready. I question how much he wants to put in the extra work to win. And like, to me, that's like a little suspect. I don't know if that's like hyperbolic just because he the way he looks, but I don't know. It makes you question like, how much do you really care to win? Like, do you care just when you're playing, or do you care your entire life about just winning?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still I take the guy that cares about winning versus stats. And I know he gets the stats that help him win, but he's out there trying to dog people. Like he doesn't go into a game thinking about numbers, just like Jokic doesn't go into a game thinking about numbers. Luka does everything that he can to just win the game. And I'll take that commitment wise, even if he comes in fat and out of shape from the offseason, as long as he's ready to play 48 minutes and try to get us a triple double for a win. I can't really question that. I can't question his commitment when he's trying to do that.
I think with my next one, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I'm going to keep this simple and not be stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that we said last year was the best player in basketball before Jokic came and stole that from Giannis, man. Like he's only 28. He's not that old. The only thing that concerns me about Giannis, if I was building my franchise around him, is he's so great because he's such a freak athletically. I'm just wondering, like, is that going to hold up when he's 32, 33, 34? With Jokic, he's the same age, but I don't have that worry with Jokic because he plays like an old person already.
He also plays below the rim.
Yeah. But I'm looking at other people on my list and I'm like, am I really going to put blank over Giannis? And it's hard, even if it's the age of like a difference of, I don't know, 4 years. It's like, I'll give up 4 years of my franchise to have Giannis for 5 years being really, really good.
I think you're looking at this more of a
long term though. It's like not next year, but it's like the next 5 years. Because like year 6, I can get some new guys in there. But like if I'm going to start my franchise tomorrow, like I would be more than happy to have Giannis as my cornerstone for the next 5 years being dominant, 6 years being dominant.
Luka, Giannis, Jokic. I'm not saying that that's a bad lineup by any means. For me, it was, again, going towards the youth movement, 25, 26 and below, people that haven't even hit their prime. Essentially, I think we've seen not the cap, but like how much better can Giannis get? How much better can Jokic get? That's what I'm saying.
I get that. But here's a question. A counterpoint is like, you're also approaching this as like an NBA 2K franchise where like, oh, after the season, of course my guy's gonna go +4, +3 overall. Like how do I know that Tatum's gonna get any better than he is now? How do I know that Luka's gonna get better than he is now? You're saying, well, he's only 24, he's gonna improve. Like, what if what you're seeing now is the tippity top of what they're doing? So like I get what you're saying, like these guys that are older aren't gonna improve, they're in at their peak, but like you're also approaching it where you're thinking the young guys are automatically going to be better than what they are now. There's no guarantees.
No, and again, I don't want it to get misconstrued. I'm not saying that the way that your list is set up is incorrect. I'm saying this is how I set mine, 25, 26 and below, essentially. Which is I don't think that, if you're building around Giannis, it's a bad thing. If you're building around Jokic, it's a bad thing. If you're building around Luka, we both agreed with Luka, so it's not like we disagree on that one. But for number 3, for me, if you want to play it, it was a toss-up between 1 and 2, but I think the other one would push Luka more. I'm going with Anthony Edwards. And it was a toss-up between Anthony Edwards and Booker, because Booker is going to be ascended as like another point guard this season. And I feel like that would help out someone like a Luka Doncic, also because they have history being able to be pissed off at each other. But essentially, Anthony Edwards, I think we're about to find out that it's his time. We're about to see the passing of the torch of who actually owns the Minnesota Timberwolves. Increased his 3-point percentage this season. We know he's a dog when it comes to getting to the hoop. More importantly, he actually plays great defense from the wing position. Even though he's 6'4", like that's something that I can live with. He plays above the rim, but like he's not going out there and trying to jaw everyone. He's not just trying to dunk on people to dunk on people. So like he's athletically gifted, but it comes more with a package of playmaking and defense versus a John Morant, which is a lot about scoring.
I debated what to do about Ant-Man. I don't know. For me, it's like he hasn't done enough winning, and I don't think
Timberwolves, bro.
I don't think if he's that dude, he should be like elevating them.
25, 6 and 4. What are you talking about?
I don't think he's as good a defender as you're trying to make him out to be. I think he's like a mid defender. Like I don't think he's a great defender by any means. And I'm gonna say like the winning thing to you, and you're gonna call bullshit on me with my next pick. I was debating 2 guys, and I won't take the other guy because you just mentioned him, and I feel like you're gonna want to take him next, so you can have him. I really think this guy is gonna be legit, like a perennial all-star player. He made the all-star this year, first time, and he's just a really young, exciting player. He's only 23 years old. Any guesses where I'm going?
I don't think I got the right one, so go ahead.
I really am a believer of Tyrese Halliburton.
That's different.
Do you like that one?
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a cornerstone 2-guard.
I mean, he averages almost 10 assists a game. He averaged almost 10 assists a year last year. 23 years old. He can shoot the 3 ball. Tall guard who can defend. Like he can kind of do it all, man. And if you have that dude for the next 8 years, where he's 23, he can be dominant for 8-9 years. Like that's a good dude out on your team.
Yeah, I respect it. I'm glad you went the route with the youth on that one. So
I wasn't even go all 28 years.
No, you're good. But I like that. Tyrese Halliburton, I think he showed. I think where was he before? He's Sacramento, right?
He is now in Indiana. Yeah.
No, I'm saying where was he prior?
He got drafted by the Kings.
Okay, I remember there was an announcer. I have his face, like, but I can't remember his name. But somebody that essentially was like, Tyrese Halliburton thinks he's an all-star. And like it was a dude that just went off on him. And it was like, the man is 20-10. How can you say that he's a bad player? But it was like a former Kings player that was like talking shit about him because like he doesn't play for him anymore. And I was like, I don't understand like why we're even listening to you. Like you were a fringe reserve player, but like because you got a platform, you think Tyrese Halliburton isn't considered an all-star. 20-10 at the point guard position is not something that's easy to come by.
No, he's good. He got injured last year, but he's been healthy for the rest of his time too. I don't have on my list, but I flirted with it, and I wonder if you have it. is LaMelo Ball. Like he's interesting, but he's just always hurt, so I couldn't have him on my
That's
list.
why I couldn't do either one of them, either LaMelo or Lonzo, just because of the injury history,
Lonzo's
and that's going
done.
to catch up. Yeah, he's not even playing next season.
Crazy. All right, who's your? What are we at number
4.
4? All right.
So number 4, go ahead. With the number 4 pick, obviously I've fulfilled point guard, shooting guard, and small forward. This one was really hard for me to decide at the 4, but I think I'm going to go with John Collins.
Bro, that is the most absurd fucking take I've ever heard in my life.
So again, I'm looking at this as a starting lineup. You're laughing. I looked at this. I think we kind of got confused as to like how we're setting
You
this
can
up.
redo that if you want.
No, but like again, I'm gonna keep this. This is just like as a starting lineup, like who I'm going with the youth group, youth movement. But again, John Collins, 6'9" power forward that can jump out the gym and shoot the 3. Obviously, we know how good of a defender he is. Like I think that's a lineup. If you're going with a team, a young team that you would build at the 4 position. We're not including Giannis, who plays the 4.
I got you with 4 position.
Yeah, there's other people that I looked at, such as Jabari Smith and Jalen Daniels. Like those are people that I was looking at. But it's like out of all of those names, I think I'm gonna take a John Collins.
All right, well, I'll get my power forward then, since you desperately needed a 4 and took John Collins, who got traded for Rudy Gay. Yeah, give me the number 1 pick in the draft this year, Victor Wembanyama.
Obviously, see, like, all right, bro, cool. Look, no shit, right? Like, if this were like, I'm gonna just pick LeBron James. Like, no shit. Have some fun. Have some fun. Like, obviously, I'm not picking Amen Thompson. I'm not picking Scoot Henderson. I'm not picking the other top. Like this year, like you, like
right,
if
you
we
want-
try to have something like this, like you know what? If I'm gonna build
You want
a
some
team,
hot takes,
I
is that
want
what you're looking
Jokic.
for?
I want Giannis. I want Luka. I want the kid that just got drafted, Wembanyama. No shit. Like obviously, like those are the picks that. But if you're GM, how the hell would you ever be able to do shit like that? Like put together a team that you actually could get together. Like what?
Well, you didn't explain the rules.
The picks that you have is insane. But go ahead.
I thought it was the 5 cornerstone players that you'd want on your franchise. Fine, give me. I'm gonna erase a couple of my picks. Give me my guy. Give me my guy from Orlando. I want Franz Wagner, and give me my guy from Orlando, Paulo Banchero. Are those okay picks?
Perfect. Yes, they're not rookies. They're players that have an established career. Obviously, with Wagner versus Pablo, but like Paulo's fresh off of his rookie season, like that I would have accepted. But no, you went ahead and were like, I want the guy that's a 12-time All NBA. I want an NBA champion. Like, oh, both of them got Finals MVPs. Like, no shit, you would pick those guys as cornerstones of your franchise, and then question Jason Tatum. Like, obviously, if those are your picks, I'm gonna close this out, man. Just because, like, I feel like we're never gonna be on the same page. But at the 5, I'm either going with. Go ahead, with the sounder.
All I know is my team's kicking your team's ass.
No shit. Give me Bam Adebayo just to close this fucking thing out. Good God.
That's a solid pick. It's a solid pick.
Young and bold. Was thinking about Alex Sengun because I think Sengun, if I said that correctly, because I think he's obviously a really good, solid pick for it. And if it wasn't going to be Alex, it was going to be Isaiah Stewart, just because he's a fucking dog.
LeBron James. Is that fair?
Did you pick LeBron James?
No, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah. Okay.
As a fun one to end, give me Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one too much?
I did have Shea. Shea was up there again. The way that I did this, but again, maybe we shouldn't just come up with a segment before we go live, because like that's when shit like this happens, where you just take all NBA players and I take people that are just fresh off of their rookie contract. But like it's fine. Good God,
John Collins. Awesome.
Who did you put as your bench player? As like your first man off the bench? Was it LeBron James?
It was Michael Jordan.
Yeah, of course.
I had baseball question mark as a topic, but I don't know. Baseball.
Get to that. Baseball is kind of happening. There's an All-Star game tonight, right? Something like that.
There's an All-Star game tonight?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't even got the notification from ESPN to say, "Hey, just tune in on SportsCenter." It's the 4th inning. It's the 4th inning. Hooray,
so we
sports
today. We did it.
Yep, we did.
the show is coming to an end. But first, it's time to get to anything we've missed. It's closing time. 1 segment, 2 takes. Now go.
I feel like I lost you for the show. You're just so angry about that last segment.
I'm not gonna lie, I got kind of pissed, but I'm good. I'm back. We're bringing it around back.
Okay.
We close out the right way. We understand some of us like to not follow the rules.
The rules are the top 5 players. By the way, I like how the guy that set you over the edge wasn't like Jokic. It wasn't Giannis. It was Victor Wembanyama set you over the edge.
Yeah. Hey, big shouts to the mom of the house. Mama Fur just
Those
dropped off
cookies?
some chocolate chip cookies, baby. So we will be enjoying these in about 5 minutes once we get this closing takes done, because
man.
your ass likes to do some dumbass drafting.
By the way, soft cookies or hard cookies?
Soft, bro. Hard.
People
Yeah.
like the crunchy one. I don't know, man. The Chips Ahoy. Yeah, I'm with you.
Miss me with that.
Do you want to kick us off? You said you have some closing takes.
Yeah, just a good one, because we kind of, I guess, alluded to it as to how terrible the sport is. No, it's not a terrible sport. It's just not a sport for me. But I'm going to continue to try to invest into it. I'm going to talk about baseball. Not only going to talk about baseball, but somebody that has made me a fan, very similar to how happy I was watching like a Manny Ramirez play, a David Ortiz play, Barry Bonds, obviously good hitters, Ken Griffey the Kid, Ellie De La Cruz. This kid is exciting. Obviously, we know, he was able to steal first, second, third, steal second, third at home a couple of days ago. Absolutely incredible. I don't even care about that. What I care about is the balls this kid has to be able to take a ball, look at the umpire. No, he hit a bat. He hit a ball. Umpire was like, "Hey, let me look at your bat real quick." Showed him the knob.
You know what? The manager on the other team.
Manager, okay. Yeah, well, even better. They looked at his bat, like, "Hey, we want to see if your bat is okay. Let me take a look at that." He's like, "All right, here you go." Nothing happens. All right, cool. Next pitch he sees, knocks it out the fucking park. What does he do? Yo, take a look at my bat. I fucking love that. Like, I said this, I think, a year ago. Like, the traditionalists of baseball piss me off. So the fact that this kid is able to not be traditional, I'm all for it. I will watch as many Reds games as I can if this kid is going to play like this. Like, it's exciting baseball. He's got the flair. He's what Fernando Tatis Jr. was supposed to be before he got popped with PEDs. But like, if he's good, if he's clean, you got a fan, bro. You got an extra fan, not a lot, but you got a little bit of a fan. So I'll do my best to watch because of that.
Yeah, man, that dude's awesome. He can run. He can hit power, hit for contact, play the field. Dude's real nice, man. The Reds have been awesome since he joined the team. They're first in their the division, I think, right now. Or division. So they'll be a playoff team. You'll be able to see you in the playoffs for sure.
Let's go. Big fan of that. Let's go.
One thing I'm watching the sports calendar just right now, personally, is I know it's tough right now. Gold Cup's going on right now, so it's like the North American soccer tournament. So it's USA, Canada, Mexico. We're in the semifinals right now. Tomorrow, Thursday, no Wednesday. I don't know.
Tomorrow's definitely Wednesday.
I don't know what the day is. I think the game is tomorrow. USA is playing in the semifinals versus Panama, I want to say, and Mexico's taking on Jamaica. We don't have our best squad out there, but it's been fun to watch, and it's something to break up the sports calendar if you're not into baseball.
I appreciate. Is it okay? This is the CONCACAF. CONCACAF. Yeah, I was just looking for it. I was like, is it? I wanted to say it, but I wanted to confirm it first. Yeah, big shouts to you, man, for bringing soccer back. Like, we tried to do our best during the World Cup to talk it, and we even brought in guests to talk it. Like, it was great. I like watching soccer when it's like competitive. Like, I can't watch like EPL, like random Saturdays or whatnot. Can't do that anymore. But like, if it's like cups or finals or playoffs and stuff like that, I could see myself watching if it's on the tube. So
nothing else is
good
on
for you.
So it's there. CONCACAF is like North America and Central America. So it's not the best competition, but it also means that we can win, kick some ass. So it just gave it a check. Random weird thing that I saw though, they had Qatar in the CONCACAF Gold Cup, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you were not in South America.
I couldn't tell you, man. I'm not good with geography.
That is in the Middle East, man. They paid.
There you go.
They paid to play in that one.
Well then.
Good show. It's been too long, D. Sorry I pissed you off about picking Wemby. I will never say his name ever again on this show. I promise.
Just make sure you don't have a follow-up saying that the Rockets are going to win the NBA Finals again. We should be fine.
Would I say 3 games within 3 games 500 next year?
Yeah, 38. This man is saying that they're going to go 38 and 44, essentially.
Not my best work.
Math
By the
check out on
way,
that.
last thing. Do you like the NBA Cup?
Oh, the midseason playoff?
Yes.
I think I need more information about it. I kind of saw it, but then I was like, I'm not reading all of this. We'll see how it actually plays out during the regular season. People push back on the play-in. Now the play-in's a great thing.
Fantastic.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I saw a lot of hate for the NBA Cup. I'm excited for it.
Fair enough. Whew. Stretch out, baby, because it's time to get on up out of here. As we say every time we're about to wrap up, we really appreciate you guys being here. Please catch us on all of our social media. We have Facebook, we have YouTube. You can find us on Twitter, our main outlet and platform. Obviously, visit our website, www.frizzandthegrizz.com. Please make sure y'all take care of y'all mentals. We in a tough world right now. Make sure y'all take care of y'all physicals. I know I got cookies, but I mean, I gotta eat. I gotta treat myself sometimes. Make sure y'all take care of y'all chicken, take care of y'all children, and we'll catch y'all on the rebound. Peace.
Hey, they got a website that you can hire girlfriends for the day. Hey, they got a website that you can hire girlfriends for the day.